Okay, let's have a look at question 4 of English Language Paper 2 on AQA. We're going to have a look at a modelled response which follows the approach that we took before. So remember that question 4 is the compare, and it's usually going to be kind of perspectives and feelings about X, okay? And specifically, and really importantly, it's compare how the writers convey these things, okay? So it is analytical comparison. Analytical comparison is the skill that you're being assessed on, okay? In terms of AOs, what that means is you're looking at AO2 and AO3, okay? Remember, this is different for English literature and English language. This is English language. So AO2 is your analysis of methods, and AO3 is your comparison, okay? So it's a combined approach. So here's the question itself. Compare, okay? So compare how the writers convey, so this is the analytical comparison, their feelings about the animals, so that is X in these two texts, 16 marks, okay? So we're not going to spend more than 20 minutes, okay? We're going to try and spend less than 20 minutes on this question if we were writing it. Here's the first text, okay? So the first text, you can obviously pause and read this yourself, but essentially it describes an encounter with a very much alive, very much powerful elephant in the wild. It is the patriarch of a herd, and it is basically pretty intense. Okay. Then in the second one, it's also about an elephant, Rosie, African giant, age 48, but this one is in a zoo and she's not having a good time. Okay, so you can pause it and read it. But let's have a look at what this student found. Okay, so the student started with, so if we remember that we're taking the lead head approach, if I just highlight the color code, okay, both writers convey their attitudes to the animals through emotive reactions to their relative conditions. Okay, so there is my L for link. And then it clarifies, so this is part of your link sentence, with author of text 1 in awe of the elephant and the author of text 2 pitying the neglected creature. Okay, so that first sentence is my link sentence. I'm going to say what it is that they're focusing on, so emotive reactions to the conditions, and then I clarify what the difference is between them. So one is in awe and the other is pitying the neglected creature. Okay, so that's my link sentence, most important sentence of the paragraph. Then it is just very simply my EAD. So we are going to have a look at the author's astonishment conveyed through his description of the elephant as a gargantuan mass of rippling muscle, and its roar the most stirring, strident thing. Okay, that is my evidence from text 1. Then we're going to do a very, very brief bit of analysis indicating that the animal's immense size and power overwhelmed him. Okay, that is my brief analysis. And then where we're really getting our marks here, where we're really getting our marks for AO2, is I'm going to be doing some, I'm going to be digging a little bit deeper and doing my dissection, okay? Doing my dissection, the string of emotive adjectives, gargantuan, rippling, stirring, and strident, serve to depict his amazement quite powerfully, so much so that the elephant is no longer an animal, but a mass. Okay, so this is my D, my dissection. Notice then that my link phrase, okay, my hookup phrase, if you will, is just one word, conversely. That is the H. Then we do the exact same thing again. So we're going to provide our evidence. The writer of text 2 conveys her pity through her description of the elephant Rosie, both as a sorry sight and as a tremulous bag of bones. That is my evidence from text 2. Then my analysis from text 2 is depicting her sadness over its current state in contrast with its former grandeur, once magnificent. Then we're going to zoom in on the language used. The writer uses a similar approach, emotive adjectives like sorry and tremulous, and the reduction of creature to thing, bag of bones, but to achieve the polar opposite purpose, conveying her sadness. Okay, there is my dissection. And you'll notice that in my final sentence, I make a little reference to the fact that this is comparative. But the structure is really quite simple, and this is a really strong paragraph. The next paragraph takes the exact same approach. Okay, so another attitude the writers convey through semantic fields is a sense of reverence for the monarchical bearing of the two elements. Notice that in this one, because I'm doing a similarity, I don't need my clarification like on the previous one, okay? So with the author of text 1 and the author of text 2 showing what the difference is, if it's a similarity, I just say what the similarity is, okay? Another attitude the writers convey through semantic fields is a sense of reverence for the monarchical bearing of the two elements, okay? Then I go into my evidence from text 1. In text 1, the writer deploys a clear semantic field of royalty, dominion, wrath, mercy, sovereign declaration, empire, and majesty. Okay, and then I go into my dissection. Which color did I do dissection? I just underlined it in red, didn't I? These abstract nouns and noun phrases carry not only a sense of royalty, but also of unquestioned authority and power associated with the patriarch elephant, the ancient Titan. All of these words, save for mercy, are associated with domineering behavior, and even mercy is negated because of the phrase seldom earned. Okay, so notice how my analysis, which I forgot to highlight, my analysis here, abstract nouns, noun phrases carry not only a sense of royalty, blah, 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 blah. I'm not zooming in on specific language, just an overall sense. That's going to be my A for analysis. I should label my evidence too. And my dissection here zooms in on the impact of those phrases. Okay. Then, similarly, this time, but notice I've extended similarly, but with different outcomes. This is my linking phrase. Then that's going to be, sorry, that's my H for hookup. Then we're going to go into providing evidence. We find in text 2 the semantic field of royalty and the lexical choices of dignity, grace, grandeur, and monarch. Then we do a brief bit of analysis, an overall sense of respect and admiration carried by this choice of language for the African giant. However, and this is where I'm zooming in to really dig apart the language, however, crucially, all of these words are undermined. Neither dignity nor comfort, reluctant grace, grandeur fades, and fallen monarch all contain negating language, meaning that these royalty associated with these words become merely relics of a time forgotten, a reminder that they no longer apply, in dramatic contrast to the dominion of the elephant sovereignty in text 1. Okay, so I've dissected, I've gone deep into the language there, and then notice again that I round off that final sentence with a little bit of reference to the fact that this is still comparative. Okay, and you know what? I went for a third. Okay. A final connection between the attitudes of the two writers towards the animals is their lingering reaction after the encounters. Okay, so that is my linking sentence. And then the clarifying part of this linking sentence, with text 1's writer left fearful and amazed, and text 2's left sad but hopeful. Okay, so this is still part of the same sentence. It's still a link, but the second half, when it is a difference, just clarifies that difference. Then we jump into our evidence. So in text 1, the writer feels an unsettling awareness regarding the unyielding majesty of the natural world. That's my evidence. My analysis. Evidently, the encounter has left him so deeply moved by the significance of nature and its animals. That's my analysis. Then we dig deeper, because that's what the dissection section is. Deeper than that, though, is the pre-modification of these abstract nouns, awareness and majesty, with the emotive adjectives unsettling and unyielding, respectively, implying something disturbing about nature's power. Okay, there is my dissection. Then, again, really simple linking phrase, conversely this time. That's just going to be my H for hookup. In text 2, evidence. The writer leaves the scene feeling similarly mixed but entirely different emotions, betrayal and sorrow, but also hope and green pastures. Okay, that's my evidence from text 2. Then we've got, clearly the encounter left her reeling but determined to make a change. Okay, that's my analysis, what's being suggested by that quotation. And then we are zooming in, notably the abstract nouns, betrayal and sorrow, relate to the past tense, while the word yet applies to the hope and greener pastures idiom, indicating it is located in the future. In short, the future may be brighter. And so the final image we are left with is actually more positive for text 2 than text 1, despite content of both the texts. Okay, there is my dissection of text 2, and you'll notice, hopefully again, that I've rounded off the argument with a little reminder that this is still comparison. Okay, so this is a very strong response. This would be full marks. Another thing that I just want to quickly point out to you is the way that terminology has been embedded throughout. It is not disruptive. We don't have separate sentences identifying terminology, but what we have is emotive adjectives. We have what have we got? Emotive adjectives in the first one. Okay, so emotive adjectives, I haven't gone over the top with my terminology because terminology is only part of what you're awarded. I'm going to do a little bit more of it in this next one. So we've got semantic field. We've got abstract nouns, noun phrases, phrase. We've got semantic field again because it's the same thing being used. Negating language. And then in this final paragraph, we've got pre-modification, abstract nouns, emotive adjectives. What have we got in this one? Abstract nouns, past tense, idiom. So the terminology, it doesn't have to be intense. It's just peppered throughout to show that we have a really clear sense of how language works within. But much more important is the stuff that's underlined in red here, which is where I'm dissecting the actual impact of the language. So the lead head structure should not be limiting. A lot of people talk about how structures are limiting. It's not limiting in this case because it is just reminding you of the things that you need to do. The way that you do it is where you're earning your marks, and that is unlimited. Obviously, it's limited to 16 because that's how many marks are available there. But it is an unlimited approach because you just need to make sure that you state your difference, you evidence your difference, you analyze your language, and then you dissect in depth those writers' methods that are being used. Really, really simple. This is a very effective response. You can use a similar structure for your own. Lots of kind of sentence stems that are varied there. You can obviously pause this and look back at it. And on the study note, you'll be able to find this written out so that you can spend a bit of time digging into what makes it so good. Hopefully that makes sense, and good luck.